Welcome to Straight No Chaser. So grab a glass and join your hosts, your girl MBZ, Pastor C, Thin Bad, and the Chief. Welcome to Straight No Chaser. It's the Chief, and welcome tonight to Straight No Chaser, where we never dilute the issues, we only serve the hard stuff. Well, tonight I'm here with Thin Bad. How you doing, Thin Bad?
Hey.
And of course,
Good.
as you can see, Ambeezy's not here tonight, so substituting from Ambeezy, all the way from across the hall, we have Miss Susan here tonight. How you doing, Miss Susan?
I'm doing great.
Fantastic. Well, this has been another busy week.
Great.
That's right. She's here. She's in the building.
That's right.
This has been another busy week. And so we are wondering, with all the things that have been going on, have people lost their eving loving minds? We have folks that were stalking folks on Facebook.
That's a nice way of putting it.
That's right. We have folks that have been stalking people on Facebook. One young lady that traveled across the country to buy weapons so she could come to the Columbine school. We have a school board executive in the state that was referring to children by a derogatory name. And, of course, in the city of Baltimore, the mayor's lost the confidence of the city council, and Wendy Williams is leaving her loving and devoted husband. So we have a whole lot of stuff to talk about tonight. We have a whole lot of stuff to talk about. But, of course, as always, before we jump in, we want to remind the audience you can call us at 702-425-7789, 702-425-7789, or chat with us live, because we always want to hear from you. So, Brother Thin Bad, what in the world is up with this Facebook stuff before we get into all this other stuff?
Hold on. I'm trying to pour a drink. I'm going to need one today because I'm going to say some straight no chaser for real because folks have lost their mind. You know, the Facebook thing is just people are stalking folks, and you almost don't want to be stalking because, stalking is a serious thing. But that's become such a regular part of our lexicon and lingo now that it's real deal. You have people. I had heard of an instance where a young man were dating. The young man somehow got the password to the young lady's Instagram and all her social media accounts, and was kind of trolling her stuff, looking for guys that she was friending, and acquaintances or whatever, and then acting like he was her on her account, responding to those guys, and then calling the guys later and saying, "Hey, this is what are you doing? How do you know my girl?" All this kind of stuff. Craziness. People stalking their ex-boyfriends or girlfriends, kind of looking, seeing what they're eating, where they're going, who they're eating with. People are crazy. People are losing their mind. I don't get it. I don't understand it. I don't know how, is this the way it's going to be for the rest of our days with social media and things like that? But maybe it just reflects the anxiety of living in a world where you're always on display. Sometimes we'll put ourselves in that position. We'll put things out. I had it happen to me. Someone took my face, a picture from Facebook, and a picture of one of my daughters, and said that, put another name on it, and was in the Detroit area in Michigan,
Really?
And saying that he yeah, that he was a widower, he had a child, and this is all he was doing. He mentioned a school that he went to, and the young lady who actually went to that school didn't remember the guy, at least not that face. She tracked me down through the blog that I kept. Thank God I had some other stuff out there. And she said, somebody is impersonating you. And so I notified Facebook and kind of reached out to the guy and told him I had cans of whip ass and I was on my way
Wow.
to Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Wow.
wanting to see what was going on. But it's just all this kind of craziness that's happening in this world of Facebook. And you really can't take anything, as a joke. As we'll talk later in the hour about some of the more serious things that are really calling into question everybody's damn sanity. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, I think part of it is, with Facebook and Twitter and all of the other social media platforms, although they require you to sign in and do all kinds of things, there's still a great degree of anonymity out there. And there's still a great deal of information that's out there. For example,
Right.
If you look at Facebook, if you were to go on Facebook right now, I guarantee you could find at least 5 of your friends that are out of town and they're telling the whole world, I'm out of town. Now,
Right.
The safety experts tell you if you absolutely have to tell all your business, tell it when you get back home. So that if you post that here I am in Rome looking at the Colosseum, at least if some joker tries to come to your house, he's going to or she's going to be in for a big surprise when they meet your Rottweiler at the door. As opposed to people that tell everything. I'm at Joe's Crab House, sitting by the water, enjoying myself. Well, guess what you've told the world? I'm not home right now. Or here's a picture of little Junior and little Sally and me at the horse farm. Well, now there's your daughter's picture, there's your picture, there's your son's picture, and the same thing can happen because it's so easy to cut and paste. And particularly with some of these guys and girls, they are very, very crafty and very good with computers. So it really takes nothing to take that kind of information and make ID cards and a host of other criminal things and you have no idea that your face or your information or your name is out there in hyperspace.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's something called an awareness instinct, where it's the innate need to learn about events beyond our direct experience so that we can plan our lives and create community. But when you're vulnerable, with some like you're talking about in terms of like any kind of romantic discipline, if you're any way unstable in this regard, instinct can fragmented by the need to check up on every single thing that the other person is doing, and that's crazy. Because you can't access their real life. You go and find out what find on social media about what they're doing, and it just makes it in another way it makes it really hard to move on, get on with your life, and some folks just aren't.
Sure. Well, I tell you, Miss Susan, what do you think of all this?
That's why I barely go on Facebook. I don't post anything anymore. So if you see stuff on my Facebook page, it's because other people have posted stuff because someone got into my account and was asking for money. Now, the good thing is one of my sorority sisters checked them and said, you really don't understand who you're messing with. That's the wrong person. You might want to take it down. So, yeah, I guess she told them about my past life.
Well, so then, Dad. So when you confronted the guy, what happened? Tell us about that.
No, well, I did get in touch with the person. Obviously, cowardly move, so you can't expect that a coward is going to really stand up and say anything. I was really thankful to who reached out because she didn't have to. And this was for people, it was so widespread. This was years, 5 or 6 years ago. It kind of made you see how much time these pictures of not just one daughter but both. And this this guy carefully kind of picked the picture of me that he wanted to put up, and on the other hand, he kind of grew and decided he was gonna plan a whole alternate life. The story he was going to make with these two pictures that he took. He didn't take both the pictures of both my daughters or anything, just the one, and decided he was going to, obviously kind of playing himself out as someone who, was looking for someone to help him. He is, recent widower and getting ready to play on somebody's sympathy, getting ready to reach in someone's pocket and ready to do what he could. And wait for someone weak, vulnerable, to come along so he could manipulate them. But to a young lady to kind of keep in touch and kind of watch her page to see if he kind of disappeared. And after a while, we kept in touch. She and I did. And after contacting Facebook, I think must have investigated, took it down or whatever. But it was happening to other people. They just roll off of one and go on to someone else in hopes that they don't get caught. I don't know what the end game is for them, but I guess ultimately it's to scam somebody.
Well, had any of your personal information been compromised that you could tell?
No, I hadn't. Didn't have anything else. I didn't have much of any of that stuff. Obviously, but he wasn't able to get anything else.
See, that's the thing.
He messed around. He steal my identity, and his credit would be worse.
People get so personal on that stuff. I don't get it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not your friend. Everybody's not your friend. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well,
I don't want some of my family to know where I am.
Thank you. Or what I'm doing.
That's right. I don't want them to know.
Well, but the thing about it, we have become a social media entity now. Everyone does social media of some type. Now, you might not be, for example, the ultimate Facebook aficionado, but you're emailing. Those things are out there. And here's the thing that people don't realize sometimes is that once you send out an email, a Snapchat, a Twitter, a twat, whatever you're doing, that thing is out there forever. And now you can hit delete all day long and recall and all that stuff. But trust me, when that thing hits the World Wide Web, before you can snatch it back, or at least, a couple million people have access to it, whether you recognize it or not.
Right.
And that's the problem. And, you just have to be so careful about what you put on social media. I mean, it can be a great thing in certain circumstances. When you look at the tornadoes and things that hit certain cities and they're using Facebook and Twitter to get out good information to the public. I mean, it can be a very effective tool when used in the right circumstances. But man, when you get those jokers that want to do some crazy things with your information or your picture, can you imagine, the worst case scenario, then bad, if this guy ended up soliciting thousands or millions of dollars from folks because they felt so sorry when they saw your face and your daughter's face. And then eventually someone recognized, wait a minute, this isn't right. And then you'd have been caught up in that until you could show that, wait a minute, that's just my image. I had nothing to do with this. But in the meantime, look at all of the things, or look at all the people that might know you and say, what is he? What kind of craziness is this guy involved with? I thought he was a good dude.
Yeah, well, the good part was he never used my name. He put another name up, but it was just my picture. So people who knew me said that ain't him. But this lady didn't know me, but she didn't recognize his name either as being part of her class. So she went and looked, and she asked other classmates, do you know this guy? Do you know this? And maybe someone knew because I had been writing a blog and because I'd been doing other things, they had other ways to check. And then she found my picture on my blog. She said, I knew it. So this is the real dude here. This is who this is. This is the guy who writes this blog. This isn't the guy who is saying that he was part of our class. I don't remember, him looking like that.
Wow.
I don't know who the dude was or who he looked like, but yeah, he never used my name. So eventually, if it had gotten around to someone else seeing my picture on someone else's, things
Sure.